Kaohsiung Tzu Chi volunteers in Taiwan offer support to those affected by the recent gas explosions. Tzu Chi volunteers hold an aid distribution for 500 flood survivors in Hlegu City, Myanmar. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Following the series of underground gas explosions in Kaohsiung, Taiwan late last Thursday, Tzu Chi volunteers have been lending their assistance to blast survivors who are currently sheltered at the Kaohsiung Municipal Zhongzhen Industrial High School. Love has poured in from all across Taiwan as people continue to contribute their time, money, and aid to help survivors get through this tragic time.
With a nail trimmer in hand, a volunteer carefully trims this grandma's toenails.
I've put on weight so I can't bend over. My son was supposed to come home and help me trim my nails on Sunday, but then the gas explosion occurred.
A normal nail clipper doesn't work so well. We have to use this instead because they have thickened toenails.
Seeing how this grandpa's hair mustache is in need of a trim, volunteers help him freshen up. Following the gas blast, volunteers do their utmost best to tend to the survivors' needs, while not forgetting to promote environmental protection and vegetarianism as well.
When they're done with their meals, we ask them to place the recyclable items into the recycling bin. During a time like this, we also encourage them to adopt a vegetarian diet in respect for those who lost their lives.
The volunteers' presence helps the survivors deal with the many inconveniences that come with living away from home, as rescue efforts press forward so that their lives may return to normal as soon as possible. The tide of love continues to pour into Kaohsiung from all across Taiwan, as residents from Changhua recently delivered rice and vegetables to the Jingsi Hall to help the survivors.
We saw on the news that the underground gas explosion in Kaohsiung caused severe devastation, so we came to lend our assistance.
The kitchen is packed with kind-hearted residents who have jumped at the opportunity to lend their assistance with preparing lunchboxes. Even those who were on holiday hurried back home to help.
We were in no mood to continue our vacation. We just want to hurry back and do something to help.
Working together with one common goal, residents hope to contribute their strength to bring back a sense of normalcy to these survivors' lives.
We owe much to the police and firefighters serving on the front line of the gas explosions in Kaohsiung, many of whom were among the casualties. Policeman Zhang Minghuang and two other police women were at the scenes to direct traffic, but all suffered burn injuries and fell into a crater during the explosions. Afraid that one of his colleagues would be buried alive, Zhang reached out to save her life despite his own injury.
Sitting on a wheelchair, police intern Li Ji-Xuan is being treated for burn injuries. She is one of the lucky survivors of the Kaohsiung gas explosions.
My daughter said the road just collapsed right in front of her. She fell in a crater and her foot got stuck, but her superior was there to pull her up.
The helping hand came in the nick of time and saved Li from being buried alive. Li was directing traffic with senior police officer Zhang Minghuang and another policewoman when suddenly explosions occurred, collapsing the roadways, which dropped all three of them into a 2-meter deep crater. Zhang managed to pull himself up and work with civilians to free Li from the debris. All three managed to escape to safety.
He was really frightened at the time and he had two interns to care for. Although injured himself, he was more worried about their safety. He only relaxed after the interns were safely hospitalized.
Zhang is currently hospitalized to treat the burn injuries to his arms. He believes himself to be very fortunate to be able to see his family again. Tzu Chi volunteers also brought consolation cash to wish him a speedy recovery.
In China on August 2nd, an industrial accident was reported at a Taiwanese-owned automobile factory in Jiangsu Province, Kunshan. In the aftermath of the disaster, Tzu Chi volunteers and local residents held a candlelight vigil for those who passed away. Meanwhile, a blessing ceremony was held in Kaohsiung, Taiwan, for local residents whose lives were uprooted by the underground gas explosions.
Arriving at the blessing ceremony, survivors of the recent gas explosion in Kaohsiung listened to Jingsobo Dharma Master De Rang read a letter from Master Zhen Yan.
感恩警察、消防人员、国军与民间搜救队等，连日来不眠不休投入，积极抢救生命，也尽心想社区早日恢复生机与宁静。大家都辛苦了。
In the aftermath of the explosion, Kaohsiung Tzu Chi volunteers were also fully mobilized to offer comfort to those in need.
当安尼个受到转来，其实是不幸中的大幸。发生在
The silver lining of this tragedy is that it happened in the dead of night. Those who passed away can now seek a new life, and those injured can begin to recover. All of Taiwan is united in creating blessings for Kaohsiung and for Taiwan.
所有的台湾在同胞，咱大家自我祝福。天佑高雄，天佑台湾。
Former Zhudong Borough head Chen Jingfa was among the dead, and his wife, who is the current head of the borough, has put aside her own pain to serve her fellow constituents.
希望
I hope Tzu Chi volunteers can help those who lost their parents, those who lost their children, or those who don't have the support system I have to heal.
早掉子女的因的伤痛。
Each holding a lotus lamp and singing a Tzu Chi prayer, everyone is united in garnering blessings for those affected by the tragedy.
I am a victim as well. I know the pain and suffering therein. I can help those who are hurting more than myself.
We are all fortunate because we can help others. We can pass on our blessings to others and unite our blessings for Taiwan.
At the conclusion of the blessing ceremony, volunteers hope that the heart and spirit of residents have found a sense of peace. Meanwhile, on August 2nd, in China's Jiangsu province, an explosion in Taiwanese-owned factory injured nearly 200 and killed over 70.
We extended our blessings to the injured, those who lost their lives and their family members.
We are all affected by the large number of people who died. We have come with a heart of sincerity to pray for those who left us.
Everyone is saddened by this, so when we were lighting candles, many local residents automatically came by to help. We then led everyone in a prayer and asked people to share their thoughts.
My heart goes out to the workers who were hurt in this accident. It's been a long while since a disaster happened in Kunshan. Being a fellow resident, I came to pray for those who lost their lives.
大家一个爱心的观众嘛，然后就是祈祷逝者安息。
Lighting a candle to garner blessings, volunteers and local residents come together to give the victims of this accident a proper final farewell.
In Malaysia, to help break the superstitions commonly associated with the 7th lunar month, Tzu Chi volunteers are holding a string at events to teach members of the public on how to act in a way that reflects the month's true meaning.
Tzu Chi volunteers and some 870 local residents gather at a Tzu Chi clan branch and Taiwan Yin-An Liaison Office to take part in the chanting of the Earth Treasury Sutra with the Hualien Jing Si abode via video conferencing.
My deceased father. I was unable to do it by myself at home. I really appreciate that Tzu Chi is providing this opportunity.
Yun Da Guan was never once absent during the 3-day event, chanting every sutra with the utmost concentration. Insights were also jotted down for future reflection.
My sister passed away not long ago. Through chanting the sutra, I hope to dedicate all my merits to her, so that she won't remain in the underworld. As Buddhists, we do not believe in killing, as it creates bad karma.
Tzu Chi volunteers also put on a short play to call on members of the public not to burn just paper and protect the environment.
There has been a series of devastating events lately. The air here is also a little hazy. That is why we want to urge everyone to refrain from burning just paper, which causes further damage to our earth.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Malacca kick-started a campaign in local schools and communities, trying to break the superstitions associated with the 7th lunar month.
We hope that members of the public will change their behavior. We want to help generation after generation discontinue the practice of the burning of just paper.
We need to stop burning just papers because the carbon dioxide emissions will destroy our planet.
I know that the 7th lunar month is not Ghost Month. There is no need to be afraid. It is in fact a month of auspiciousness.
Tzu Chi volunteers also held a tea gathering in local communities to introduce the new concepts in a more casual setting.
After listening to the Master's teachings, I've learned the right way to see this month. I won't burn just paper anymore.
By teaching members of the public to stay positive during the 7th lunar month, Tzu Chi's volunteers are taking the first steps to instilling the correct mindset for the month ahead.
On Taiwan's Alishan lives many seniors, and some of them need looking after. Thankfully, the DaAi Christian Hospital, operated by the Dimension Medical Foundation, has a group of social workers working there. Though the 7 in-home caregivers have to serve 57 seniors across 3 townships and even come out when there is a typhoon, they say they're glad to be service.
吴梅姐，今天辛苦你啦！今天老人便当还好吗？
Ms. Wang opened up a small diner on Alishan after the 88 floods. Nowadays, she also prepares lunch boxes for seniors living up on the mountain.
Some seniors don't like spicy foods. Others want softer rice and foods. So I need to pick and choose properly.
Formerly a Typhoon Morakot victim, now Ms. Wang is on the giving end, thanks to Lan Su Li.
After the 88 floods, I couldn't find a job, so I started selling breakfast. And that was how it all started. The social workers are really enthusiastic and are willing to go the distance for our seniors. So I'm very willing to do my share as well.
居家服务山区的又特别不一样。
In-home care up in the mountains is quite different from the rest. Due to the more secluded locations, young people are less willing to sign up, so I'm more limited in terms of human resources.
会辛苦一点这样子。
Thus, a decade ago, Lan Su Li began work to get young people to come home to care for seniors on the mountain, as well as for seniors to learn how to care for one another.
We are just helping each other out, the marginalized helping the marginalized. It's not that much of inconvenience for me. If you think like that, then you don't have a care.
他的便当你满意吗？
满意的。
好，好吃吗？
好吃。
好啊，看到他们觉得怎么样？
高兴啊。
Ms. Lan and her crew of 7 caregivers and volunteers serve Alishan's 8 villages and 2 neighboring townships. They work 365 days a year and will even go out when there's a typhoon.
有 时候下雨天哈，像台风天。
Sometimes it rains hard. Maybe because of a typhoon, there will be a lot of debris. You got to drive carefully and watch for debris on the pavement.
马毅，看书哦，平安。
看小说。
看小说。
Originally from Pingdong, Miss Lan married an indigenous Zhou man living in Alishan in 2004, which led to her becoming a guardian of the seniors here.
你很快乐啊，就是你介绍到这里来了。
所以有任何问题你都找他。
对。
你看太阳不见了，
见了哈。
在他们身上。
The seniors here are very wise. Though their families may be always caught up with work, they do not complain. They are actually grateful. They say, at least we are still alive and you're here to care for us. The optimism has brushed off on me.
Miss Lan and her caregivers dedicate themselves selflessly to these seniors of Alishan, and their greatest reward is the brilliant smiles they receive in return.
As it is currently monsoon season in Myanmar, recently heavy downpour has sparked floods in villages in Hlegu City, north of Yangon. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers visited 2 of the affected villages to conduct an aid distribution for 500 flood survivors.
As it is now the rainy season in Myanmar, cities and villages all face the threat of monsoon floods. Continuous heavy rainfall since mid-July has triggered a series of mass flooding in Hlegu, which is situated 45 kilometers north of Yangon.
We also experienced flooding here back in 2012. We didn't have any last year, but the flooding this year was quite severe. Floodwaters covered areas as high as 1 meter deep, and in other areas 1.5 meters deep.
Tzu Chi volunteers arrived at the affected villages 2 weeks later to survey the impact of the floods. As waters have yet to recede from the continuous downpour, volunteers traveled on small boats and tricycles to get into the flooded areas.
Look at my home. It's almost all inundated. This is the living room. This is the bedroom. The rest of the house is flooded. Only this corner isn't.
Faced with the devastation of her home, the single mother of 2 had no choice but to stay with her own mother.
Our fields have also flooded. We have been getting by on the money we saved up and food that other people gave us.
After surveying the disaster, the following day, volunteers readied rice, cooking oil, soybeans, and emergency cash to help disaster survivors in worst-hit villages.
This will last us a while. I'm so happy.
We lost everything in the flood. We are so happy to receive this aid.
Last year, a 7.2 magnitude earthquake struck the Philippines' Boho Island and damaged many schools. In response, Tzu Chi provided 16 local schools in the area with 150 prefabricated classrooms so students may resume their education. Working behind the scenes are many teachers, parents, and other beneficiaries of Tzu Chi who came to help prepare the construction site. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers revisited the island to give their thanks for the locals' assistance and also hold a rice distribution.
Traveling miles to Boho Island, Manila Tzu Chi volunteers once again visit the students of Cortez Elementary to see how they are enjoying the 7 prefabricated classrooms built in the aftermath of the Boho earthquake last year.
I'm thankful because my son was selected as a scholarship recipient, which has helped him go to college. Thank you, Tzu Chi Foundation.
Volunteers lead students, teachers, and parents in a sign language song, and from smiles on everyone's faces, it is clear all are enjoying the time together. However, these people are all victims of last year's tremor. Today, volunteers are here to not only to distribute rice vouchers for each household, but also plant seeds of compassion.
I've started to share Tzu Chi's ideals with those around me. I would tell them not to do bad things, but instead do good deeds.
Working from dawn till dusk, volunteers make sure rice vouchers are given to all those in need. Meanwhile, at the Katibiang Sports and Cultural Complex, local volunteers hand out rice to earthquake survivors. 82-year-old Teodoro, who helped during the prefab classroom construction, has gained the support of his son.
My father said he finds happiness in his heart from helping others.
Teodoro farms for a living, and his son recently lost his job at the gas station, thus making their life more difficult. Tzu Chi's presence is always a pillar of support to the less fortunate. During the distribution, local volunteers performed an uplifting dance. To reciprocate the love and care, residents adopted a bamboo coin bank to continue the cycle of good deeds.
To make their summer more meaningful, for the past 4 years, Tzu Chis from Taiwan have been visiting China on a cultural exchange to learn from local youth. On August 3rd, Tzu Chis students of the Tzu Chi University and teachers of the Tzu Chi Teachers Association traveled to Sichuan Province, China for a one-month cultural exchange. Next, let's take a look at their preparation before their departure.
When fishes in the ocean eat marine debris, toxins and heavy metals in the plastic will be released into their bodies.
Groundwater salinization may occur, such as in areas near the coast.
Going over environmental concepts with their counterparts, a group of Tzu Chis and university students are preparing for a cultural exchange trip to China's Sichuan province.
We want to make sure we know about their culture and lifestyle before going to China. That's why we're holding a seminar like this prior to our departure.
We will be preparing questions such as, can we recycle batteries? What can you do with water you use for washing rice? These questions will give participants the chance to think about the way they conduct their daily lives.
Besides preparing for a sign language performance, Tzu Chis also designed games using recycled plastic bottles. This time, 49 students from Taiwan will be seizing their summer holiday to interact with students in China's Sichuan province.
Children are our future, so we hope more youngsters can dedicate their love and protect our planet.
Meanwhile, in China's Sichuan province, Luoshui youth volunteers mobilized to prepare for the arrival of the students from Taiwan.
We had a 3-day intensive training seminar to make sure we are prepared before the arrival of our counterparts from Taiwan. The collaboration between us and Taiwan's Tzu Chis can help more children gain a better understanding of Tzu Chi. We will be able to learn from each other. I believe all of us will have a wonderful time.
The collaboration between youth from both sides of the strait for the 4th time will surely be a wonderful experience for all participants. We stay in China at the end of the show. At the 2014 Taiwan Trade Fair in Tianjin City, Tzu Chi volunteers set up a booth to showcase Jingsi products. Furthermore, to show his support of Tzu Chi, an exhibitor happily plastered Jingsi Afrism's poster at his booth. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.